A typical question we get is, how do you know when to actually stitch in the regional content? And that's a very valid question. It's not easy to know when to actually stitch in the regional content. So there is at least 4 different ways of solving that. One way is just to schedule it using an EPG. So we have an API. You can call this API and send in a time and say that between this period of time you should stitch in this stream instead. And you could, for example, look at the EPG and see in the EPG when the regional content is supposed to be stitched in. That works for some national channels, depending on how strict they are with their timing. For others it will not work. So there are a couple of other ways. One way would be to go directly to the source where the actual channel was scheduled from the beginning, using a BXF format, for example. Another way would be to look at a marker in the incoming stream. In the national channel stream, you can actually see with a scattered 35 marker that there are regional content coming up. That's one possibility. A fourth possibility would be to take in a lot of people, typically young people, and they would actually sit and look at the national channel and click a button like this when it's time to stitch in the regional content. Not very practical, but it's possible. And yeah, that's it. And just to show you and prove that this is for real and not a fake demo, with this button I have here, I can actually on demand stitch in another stream. So we could stitch in, for example, a blackout stream, just to show you that it's possible. So when I click this button, it will take a couple of seconds before we can see the blackout stream on your right here, and that's because the client has a buffer and the client needs to consume all the existing segments in the buffer before we can actually see the blackout. So let's click the button and see what happens. In a couple of seconds now, we'll see a completely different stream on your right. And here it is, the blackout stream. Just to prove that this is actually done now. And this is available today. It's in production, and it's a very good way to save a lot of resources, encoding capacity, storage, and bandwidth. There is no excuses anymore not to actually expose your regional channels.